in this current incarnation, it is pretty sad for Cory Booker to spend 25 hours talking about nothing.
Nothing.
Except, sending out his hat. This is how you give money to my campaign to promote him. I guess he wants to run for president again. I'm assuming that's it. And to call it a filibuster, and just so folks know, a real filibuster is conducted to stop something from happening.
Gee.
So Strom Thurmond did talk for 24 hours straight back in the 50s in order to stop some civil rights legislation. So that's why you filibuster. You don't filibuster just to talk. I mean, has he done anything to stop Trump? Anything? I mean, and then after he finally stopped talking, they all confirmed a Trump nominee. So it's just sad. And some people are actually impressed. I've had like semi-arguments the past day with people say, listen, oh, he just did this. He was filibustering. He did. No, he didn't. And individual Democrats are also a problem, get mad at me because I'm pointing out something that's true. And I guess we've all had those situations. But, and too many Democrats, because Trump is in, any performative nonsense like Cory Booker or, Jasmine Crockett, she has a quick tongue and, okay, so she's good with rhetoric. Well, all right, that's fine. But what does that have to do with fighting Trump? Nothing. Nope. And or even Bernie and AOC with this tour. I think it's sheepdogging again. It's unfortunately not breaking with the party, who shafted him twice. So, I think we got to start with our own people too, and help them to understand what's really going on, and that there has to be a break.
Well, the key ingredient here that I think we can all agree on is that while the Democratic Party may not be dead, they are slipping substantially. And I think the reaction overall from people regarding this speech, it wasn't a filibuster, guys. By the letter of the law, it's not a filibuster.
You know what? It could have been an interpretive dance for all I care. I could not care less. It was so stupid and self-gratifying. I honestly.
Let's play his speech. If everybody's got 25 hours and 24 minutes.
And mind you, this is somebody who doesn't support everybody having health care. So I don't know what he's,
we'll get to what he does and doesn't support.
Saying. All right.
We'll get to what he does and doesn't support in a minute. But here's what Mr. New Jersey Senator, and I'm in New Jersey right now, here is what the Senator of New Jersey had to say.
Of disrupting the normal business of the United States Senate for as long as I am physically able. This would be a crisis for elder care. This would be a crisis for disability services. What it is, when a nation isn't taking care of its elders, it's a crisis of our national character. Why are so many women dying in childbirth and in the postpartum period in America? Shame.
Because you don't support single-payer health care.
Because they don't have health care. I'm going to go with that.
That's my guess.
So it's easy to and say that, why don't we have these things? You are one of 100 of the most powerful politicians in the world. In fact, probably the most powerful governing body in the world is the U.S. Senate, and he happens to be one of them. And he's up there flapping his lips about what is and what isn't. He's as big of an impediment as anybody. Anyone who knows anything about Cory Booker knows that this guy is a pharma whore of the highest order. Of the highest order.
Well, he's also a Zio. He's also a Zio.
We'll get to that.
Can I talk about how he got his start politically?
Yes, please.
He was a Yale Law School grad, I think. He got a seat on the Newark City Council, and he moved into the projects to prove he was going to be one with the people. It was like, at any rate, then he ran for mayor. He had a lot of right-wing money behind him, like the Bradley Foundation. Their thing was school vouchers and charter schools and so forth. He had right-wing money behind him. And he was able to defeat the long-term incumbent and become the mayor of Newark. And of course, he parlayed that fundraising prowess into becoming a US Senator. His first big political speech was at the Manhattan Institute, the right-wing group that exists to promote conservatives. So he's putatively a Democrat, which tells you everything you need to know that's wrong with the Democratic Party. That somebody who started out with right-wing backing is now a Democrat, has run for president, and apparently is trying to do that again, and then holds forth talking for more than 20 hours about things that he doesn't like but doesn't do anything about. So I think all of those are important things to know about him. And as you were saying, he's an AIPAC conduit of AIPAC money. He met with the Israeli official, the former defense minister, who the ICC finally issued an arrest warrant for. So he's hanging out with Israeli war criminals. So that's who Cory Booker is. He even had a fake relationship with an actress when he was running for president. I mean, I thought
Rosario Dawson.
Yes, and it was as phony as a $3 bill. So this is Cory Booker. This is the person that we are talking about.
We'll continue.
Painful. And now I just found out that the community violence intervention money that you allowed me to fight so hard to get into that bill is being clawed back by Donald Trump. They're writing me letters with words like fear and terror. They're talking about staying up at night and not being able to sleep because they don't have a president that comforts them. I mean, it's almost like you can't make this up, honestly. Another story from a Social Security employee in New Jersey. I am a claims representative for our Social Security field office. The most dramatic changes I've noticed from our recent change in operations is that our appointment calendar seems to be filling up more quickly for simple post-entitlement changes. We've gone through healthcare cuts. We've gone through Social Security being attacked and undermined and slashed. If you're revoking somebody's visa, make a phone call, tell them that you have 30 days to leave. But there should be due process. You should have to prove your claims in court. If this person is somehow lying with some kind of enemy, prove it.
And that's what a Yale law education gets you. There's something called due process. I can't even. How long is this, Peter? How long are we subjected to this?
Another minute or two. That's it.
Good God. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say another 24 hours, but luckily I'm
and the thing is, it's like,
person.
Well,
you don't need more tax cuts.
I was going to say, if we're lucky, Trump will bankrupt Yale University and all the Ivy League schools.
Listen, just excuse me. You gave me a great idea. We're totally going to do that. I went to Penn. I went to the Wharton School of Business. I'm the smartest guy in the room. And Yale, really stupid people, especially if they employ people like that guy.
Cuts. And we as a society have an obligation to each other, to those farmers, to those rural folks, to the cops I stood with at the funeral of one of their colleagues in Newark 2 weeks ago. Our Social Security offices are being closed already. And the question of why, under the guise of efficiency, but you're hurting our elders who deserve dignity in their retirement. It's stunning to me. I've had farmers from New Jersey to Texas coming to my office about this president freezing contracts that we approved in a bipartisan manner, putting them in financial crisis. It's not right or left, it's right or wrong. It's not a partisan moment. It's an American moment. It's a moral moment. Does the wealth of our people, we have more billionaires than any other country, does that speak to the greatness of our nation? No.
He's totally dissing his donors right there. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter if they diss them. It just matters if they're at the end of the day, and this is what we'll conclude with. In fact, we can actually
make him go away.
Here's a guy who actually slipped in. Not many people know this, but he slipped in around, I think, the 11 or 12 hour mark, a comment about his support for Israel. Now, that's not being talked about. Now, that is something that they decided to ignore. Now, people like us we know where he stands on Israel. For those who don't know, Mr. Booker considers himself an honorary Jewish person. Now, maybe it's because he happens to be a Democrat in the state of New Jersey, and there are a lot of wealthy Jewish people in the state of New Jersey, and he always has to maintain an even keel. But no, he really is committed to the Zionist cause. He identifies Mr. Shmuley as his rabbi. He says, my rabbi, I'm a black Jewish American, is what he's calling himself, and Rabbi Shmuley was my rabbi. As far as I'm concerned, there were two things that we pointed out in our social media.
Sammy Davis Jr. is rolling over in his grave about right now. That's how ridiculous this all is. Okay.
Margaret, the only thing that truly matters about this speech, as I would explain to anybody, is much like how we ended up with Trump in the first place. Cory Booker does not support the very policies that would actually change the lives of the people that apparently are suffering under Trump, most notably single-payer health care, Medicare for all. And the other one is the fact that he is as in bed with the Israel lobby as anybody in politics, having taken almost $1 million from AIPAC alone. This is not somebody who is fighting on behalf of working people. He has a reputation, which is understandable because most people on Capitol Hill suck to the high heavens. But Cory Booker has a reputation of being a very nice guy, and that's why he is able to skate in many ways past a lot of scrutiny. Well, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as we should all be concerned, because we all know he's going to try to parlay this speech into some type of political opportunity, whether it's through money or even, dare I say, another presidential run. Make no mistake, things are changing, and we are done with this bullshit. We should all be done with it.